Hello and welcome back to Bootleg Macro, your number one source for the most active tickers in the US stock market. Let's begin. We're going to take a look at MULN. This is the most actively traded stock all of Friday in the US market. Over 413 million shares traded just on Friday alone. And we can see that over this recent price action, we've seen that it's gone from a high of 41 at the beginning of February, all the way down to a recent low here at 14 cents on Friday. So what we can tell very quickly is that there's a lot of activity in this stock. We're going to go ahead and look very much at the daily bullish price action. So what we can see here, this is a representation of bullish or bearish price action inside of an individual stock. So we can see looking back here in December or in October of 2022, we got all the way down to 35% bullishness, which is very difficult to do. Generally, this indicator won't go below 40 and won't go above 60. It generally will oscillate between 60 and 40, just going up to be bullish, going down to be bearish. When we get to the high 30s or mid 30s, that's generally an opportunity area where you want to take up a long bias, simply because you're going to get mean reversion. It's going to snap back. It went from here at 35% in the middle of October, all the way back up to 60% bullish action by the end of the same month. So within 2 weeks. Again, we see that in December, we got all the way down to 38%. We got all the way down to 37%. Within the same month, we were all the way back up at 60%, have a nice little dip, all the way back up to 60%, and then another dip. So what we're looking at here, we can see on Thursday, the 16th, we were at 35% bullish price action. And it looks like we're starting to rise a little bit on Friday. Now, what I would expect to see is at least, again, like we saw back in October, back in December, a little bit of mean reversion. We would see some bullish price action come back into MULN. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the general dynamic, a little bit longer time frame here on the daily. This isn't going to be as fast as the ultra fast indicator, but we can still look back and see exactly what was happening in the middle of October, middle of December, and now what we have going on in the middle of March. So we are down at that 35%, very similar. You may want to look left to get an idea of what's going to happen in the future, see what the stock has done. You get these very expensive overselling corrections, and you get a resumption of bullish momentum that comes all the way back. And these are the periods we were talking about. This is that October period where you got all the way oversold. You had a very aggressive time period of buying back into that market where you went from all the way at 22 cents all the way up to 60 cents. That is a huge move in the process of about 2 weeks. You get a resumption of the selling. We go all the way back to the middle of December here, hit that low of 19 cents. We get the bullishness going all the way up to 30 or 40 cents, depending on where you were during that day. Again, in January, we're getting back up to 40 cents. Again, in February, we're getting back up to 40 cents or so. You can see these highs are the same ones that we were tracking in the middle of December, early part of January, and middle part of February here. But it has been generally just a lower series of highs in the bullish sentiment until we finally hit back down to that 35, the mid 30s level. Let's take a quick look at the sentiment base. Now, this is going to be a really difficult chart to understand, especially if you've never seen it before. But generally, this is going to be a sentiment based. Because this is MULN, because this is a penny stock, this is going to be really difficult to understand at the moment. I'm going to ignore it for now, but it may be useful to look at in the future if we come to any other ones. This is a non-sentiment based trade range. We can see the volatility that we're expecting inside of MULN. When the bars are incredibly wide, that means there's high levels of volatility. We can see when it's getting bullish, the top is blowing out, or we can see when it's dropping down, it's getting bearish. We can see that the bottom is coming up. Essentially, what we're seeing is the volatility really goes to the upside, but not really to the downside. It looks like the bottom end of this range, just because you do get bound by the by zeros, really becomes a problem. We'll go ahead and take a look at volatility here for MULN. The red bar you're going to see is going to be volatility. The blue bar is going to be the correlation of price to volatility. So what we're seeing right now is that volatility is generally pretty high, especially considering where it generally goes for MULN. It doesn't really go above 1.5, and correlation is quite negative right now. So you're getting some very aggressive selling action, which if we look over at the trade card here, makes a ton of sense. We did see it was down almost 10% just on Friday. It was down 17.5% for the week. Over 15 days, over 3 weeks, it's down nearly 40%, and over a month, it's down 50%. So this is the type of aggressive move that you'd be seeing inside of MULN at the time. Again, because of the bearishness in the price action, I would be inclined to go long, but I don't have a position here. I'm not really interested in joining any penny stock mania right now, but I know there's a lot of people paying attention to this. So if you're interested in what you think, for me right now, I'm still seeing 32, 36% long bullishness. That's an indication that it really can't get much worse. Unless you go to zero, then you can lose all your money. But that's the risk we take in any markets. Let's go ahead and look at the daily action. We're going to see, I use some pretty basic indicators, but once you see a 1 month rolling price momentum go negative, like it did here on the 17th of February, where you saw the 1 month, the 15-day, the 5-day, and the 1 day all go negative at the same time. And my signals gave me a go short signal on my fast indicators, and the next day go short on my longer term indicator. That would have been my signal to get out. But some people like to pick up falling knives. That's not my game. But when you're playing the most active ticker, you do have to be ready for any kind of aggressive bullish move or bearish move in either direction at any moment from any reason. Could be a press release, could be company announcement, could be the stock itself, could be some catalyst from some other competitor in their sector, could be anything. Is really going to drive these price actions. It's really going to drive the price action to go volatile ways very, very quickly. And as an individual who's taking a look, you have to be aware. So what we're going to see here, this is going to be the 2-day, the 5-day, the 10-day, the 23-day, and then the 10-day bullish percentage of action. And again, we can see here, I still highlighted the 17th of when we saw some really negative price action. The next day, we did see the 10-day bullish go negative and start to continue to fall. Would have been a great indication. We can see that we had just come off of the very high highs here, where we were above 60 60% on the 2-day rolling average, above the 5-day, and above the 10-day rolling average. Once you get above 60, again, you really are going to be looking for an indication that eventually things are going to start to fall. So again, we can see that on the 17th, we're hitting the 17th right in here. When we were, it looks like at 56%, 56% on the 16th. So we were here because we're paying attention to the 2-day for the ultra fast. We're at 56% when it comes to what type of bullish or bearish price action we were looking at. So when you see the same thing but in reverse, where right now we're at the very, very lows, what I would expect is if I can see bullish price action start to go positive here, especially on the 10-day, especially on the 23-day, what we would start to look at truly is for a resumption of bullish momentum or bullish price action inside of MULN again. But this has just been a quick review of the most active daily ticker in the stock market. Again, feel free to like, subscribe, and I will always post here with the most active ticker of the day in the US stock market. Talk to you soon.